Imagine a primitive tribesman. There is a drought. His crops are dying. His children are thirsty. He is terrified. The chaos of nature is threatening his survival. So what does he do? Does he accept that weather is a complex, stochastic, atmospheric system beyond his control? No, that thought is too terrifying. It creates existential dread. So he invents a ritual. He paints his face. He kills a goat. He dances in a circle. He screams at the sky. And then it rains. What does his brain conclude? I did this. My dance caused the rain. I have control. He has confused correlation with causation. He has confused randomness with agency. Now look at yourself. You open your trading app. You see a chart. It is a chaotic representation of millions of human emotions fighting for liquidity. You are terrified of losing your money. So what do? You invent a ritual. You draw a line on the screen. You call it support. You add a squiggly line. You call it moving average. You look for a shape, head and shoulders, cup and handle. You click buy, and then the price goes up. What does your brain conclude? I did this. My analysis predicted the move. I have control. You are the tribesman. Your technical analysis is the rain dance. Your indicators are the goat blood. You are performing a superstition to soothe your anxiety in the face of chaos. You are not analyzing reality. You are imposing a hallucination upon it. And just like the tribesman, when you dance and it doesn't rain, you don't blame the dance. You blame your performance. I didn't draw the line correctly. I used the wrong settings. You never question the premise that the future is knowable. Today we are going to shatter this illusion. We are going to expose the arrogance of the prediction industry. We are going to prove that you are blind. And the only way to survive is to admit you cannot see. Why are you addicted to patterns? Because your ancestors who didn't see patterns died. You are walking in the tall grass in the Pleistocene. You see a flash of orange and black stripes. Is it a tiger or is it just light and shadow? The primitive brain has two choices. Type 1 error, false positive. You think it's a tiger, but it's just grass. You run. Cost, you look stupid. You lose some calories. Result, you survive. Type 2 error, false negative. You think it's just grass, but it's a tiger. You stay. Cost, you are eaten. Result, death. Evolution optimized your brain for type 1 errors. We are hypersensitive pattern recognition machines. We are designed to see faces in the clouds, ghosts in the shadows, and conspiracies in the noise. This is called pareidolia. It is a survival feature in the jungle, but in the financial market, it is a fatal bug. The market is 90% noise. It is random Brownian motion, but your brain cannot accept noise. It craves signal. So you look at a random chart of price movements and your brain forces a pattern onto it. It looks like a bull flag. It looks like an Elliott wave. It doesn't look like anything. It is a random walk, but your brain creates the pattern to lower your cortisol. Uncertainty is painful. Structure is soothing. You are not trading the market. You are trading your own biological need for structure. You are betting your life savings on a Rorschach test. You are looking at an ink blot and seeing a Ferrari when it is actually a picture of you going broke. If you pressed a button and got a shock every time, you would stop pressing it. If you pressed a button and got food every time, you would press it only when hungry. But what if you pressed a button and sometimes you got food, sometimes you got nothing, and sometimes you got a shock, and there was no pattern? You would press that button until you died of exhaustion. This is intermittent reinforcement. It is the mechanism discovered by B.F. Skinner. It is the secret sauce of Las Vegas, and it is the engine of the stock market. Getty Images. If the market was totally random and you lost every time, you would quit. If the market was totally predictable and you won every time, there would be no profit. No one would take the other side. But the market gives you just enough wins to make you believe you have figured it out. You make a prediction. Apple will go up. It goes up. Dopamine explosion. I am a genius. Next time, you use the same logic. Apple will go up. It goes down. Cortisol spike. What happened? I must refine my model. You are the rat in the Skinner box. The randomness of the reward convinces you that there is a code to be cracked. You think, if I just learn more, if I just get better tools, I can turn the sometimes into always. You cannot. The sometimes is not a bug. It is the nature of the beast. You are addicted to the variance itself. You are addicted to the illusion that the lever controls the pellet. Humans are storytelling animals. We learn to survive by telling stories around the fire. Don't go to the river at night because the crocodile spirit lives there. Stories compress information. They give meaning to cause and effect. But the market is not a story. The market is math. The market is millions of algorithms and monkeys smashing buy-sell buttons simultaneously. It is chaos, but you cannot digest chaos. So you consume financial pornography. You turn on CNBC. You read the Wall Street Journal. Stocks fell today because of fears over inflation. Bitcoin rallied because of the tech upgrade. This is the narrative fallacy. The journalist does not know why stocks fell. Stocks fell because there were more sellers than buyers. That's it. But more sellers than buyers is a boring headline. It doesn't sell ads. So they invent a reason. They attach a story to the data and you eat it up. You think, if I understand the story, inflation, I can predict the move. No, the story is created after the move. It is post hoc rationalization. You are driving using the rearview mirror. You think understanding the past reason gives you the future price. It doesn't, because tomorrow, the market might ignore inflation and focus on unemployment, or it might ignore everything and drop because a hedge fund blew up in Singapore. The narrative changes every day to fit the price. The price does not follow the narrative. You are studying the footprints of a monster and thinking you know where it's going to walk next. The monster doesn't even know where it's going. Let's talk about experts. Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Prize psychologist, studied stock pickers on Wall Street. He analyzed their performance over years. He found that the correlation between a trader's success in year 1 and year 2 was zero. It was pure luck. But when he interviewed them, they were supremely confident. They talked about their process, their intuition, their hard work. They believed they were skilled. This is the illusion of validity. If you work hard at something, you assume you must be getting good at it. In carpentry, this is true. In medicine, this is true. In investing, this is false. You can spend 10,000 hours studying charts and still be worse than a monkey throwing darts. Why? Because the feedback loop is broken. In tennis, if you hit the ball wrong, it goes out. Immediate, clear feedback. You adjust, you learn. In trading, you can do everything wrong, take a stupid risk, and win, make money. You learn the wrong lesson. Risking 50% of my account is a good strategy. Or you can do everything right, good analysis, risk management, and lose, black swan event. You learn the wrong lesson. Analysis is useless. Because the feedback is noisy, you cannot build true competence, but you build confidence. And a confident idiot with money is the market's favorite meal. The entire financial industry is built on selling you this confidence. The suit, the tie, the marble lobby, the complex terminology. It is all theater designed to say, we have the illusion of control. Give us your money and we will share it with you. This is the ego's favorite trick. Look at a chart of Amazon from 1997 to today. It looks like a smooth curve up. Your brain says, it was so obvious. Online shopping, books, cloud. It was inevitable. You tell yourself, if I was investing back then, I would have gone all in. You are lying. You are suffering from hindsight bias. You are looking at the outcome and stripping away the uncertainty that existed at the time. In 1997, Amazon was losing money. People called it Amazon.bomb. The dot-com crash wiped out 90% of its value. Living through that chart was terrifying. It was vomit-inducing. But looking at the chart now, it looks clean. It looks destined. This bias makes you think the past was predictable. And if the past was predictable, then the future must be predictable too. I missed Amazon, but I won't miss the next AI stock. It's obvious. It is not obvious. You are standing in the fog of war. There are 100 AI companies. One will be Amazon. 99 will be pets.com. You don't know which is which, but your hindsight bias tells you that you have a history of being right, even though you never actually made the trade. You trade based on a phantom track record. You bet real money on a hallucinated ability to see the future. Let's go back to technical analysis. TA, the lines, the triangles, the Fibonacci retractments. Why is this industry so huge? Because it gives you agency. If I tell you the market is random, just buy the index and wait 30 years, you feel powerless. You feel bored. You are a hunter. You want to hunt. TA gives you a bow and arrow. It tells you, if you study these patterns, you can kill the beast. It gamifies the chaos. It turns the terrifying ocean into a video game with rules. If price crosses the 200 MA, buy. This feels like engineering. It feels like science. It is astrology for men. Mercury is in retrograde. Bitcoin is hitting resistance. It is the same mechanism. You are projecting human order onto cosmic chaos. Does it work? Sometimes. Why? Self-fulfilling prophecy. If enough people believe that $50,000 is resistance, they will sell at $50,000. So the price drops. See? The line worked. The line didn't work. The belief in the line worked. It is a coordination game. You are betting on what other people believe. But the moment a bigger player, a central bank, a sovereign fund decides to buy, your line gets obliterated. Nassim Taleb dropped the bomb on the prediction industry. Here is the final logical nail in the coffin. If the market could be predicted, it would cease to be predictable. Imagine a supercomputer that predicts Apple will go to $200 tomorrow. It is $100 today. What happens? Everyone buys today. The price goes to $200 instantly. The prediction destroys the future it predicted. The market is a second-order chaos system. It reacts to predictions about itself. Weather is first-order chaos. If you predict rain, the cloud doesn't care. It rains. The market cares. If everyone thinks a crash is coming, they sell now. The crash happens now, not later. Or if everyone thinks a crash is coming, they hedge and the crash doesn't happen. The wall of worry. You are trying to predict the behavior of a system that is actively trying to outsmart you. It is like playing chess against a telepath who can read your move before you make it. You cannot win by prediction. You can only win by positioning. But the ego doesn't want to hear about positioning, defense. The ego wants prediction, offense. The ego wants to be the sorcerer, and the market burns sorcerers at the stake. Let's talk about the dealers, the people selling you the illusion. Turn on the financial news. What do you see? Red and green flashing lights, tickers scrolling fast, urgent music, people shouting over each other. Is this designed to inform you? No. It is designed to overstimulate you. It is a casino floor broadcast into your living room. The financial media does not exist to make you rich. It exists to sell your attention to advertisers, brokers, and car companies. To keep your attention, they need volatility. They need drama. Markets in turmoil, crash imminent, the next Bitcoin. If they said the market is efficient, just buy an index fund and go to sleep, they would go out of business. So they invent noise. They bring on an expert who says the market will crash. Then they bring on an expert who says the market will boom. One of them will be right by accident. Then next week, they bring back the winner and say, he predicted the move. They ignore the loser. This is a prediction mill. They fire a shotgun of predictions at the wall, paint a target around the bullet hole, and call it marksmanship. You watch this and think, I need to stay informed. You are not staying informed. You are staying anxious. Information is, Company X earned 1 beer. Noise is, Jim Cramer is screaming about Company X. You are consuming noise that degrades your decision making. You are drinking salt water to quench your thirst. This is the IQ taste of the financial world. You see an ad on YouTube, a guy in a private jet. Rent it. I discovered a secret algorithm that prints money, 90% win rate. I turned $1,000 into $1 million, and now he wants to sell it to you for $49. Stop. Engage your critical thinking. If you had a machine that printed $100 bills, would you sell it for $49? Would you tell anyone about it? No. You would sit in a bunker, print money, and buy Switzerland. If a strategy truly has alpha, an edge over the market, it is a finite resource. If everyone knows the strategy, the edge disappears. Arbitrage closes. So why is he selling it? Because the strategy is worthless. The strategy doesn't make money. The course makes money. He is not a trader. He is a marketer. He is selling you a map to a gold mine that has already been mined out, but you buy it. Why? Because of greed and laziness. You want the secret. You want the cheat code. You don't want to learn accounting. You don't want to study macroeconomics. You want a magic box. The guru sells you the feeling of competence. He sells you a system. Just follow the arrows. It works for a week, then it fails. And when it fails, he says, you didn't follow it correctly. Buy my mastermind for $5,000. It is a pyramid of useless knowledge built on the foundation of your gullibility. Why do you believe day trading is profitable? Because you see the winners on Instagram. You see the guy posting his Ply 500% gain porn. You don't see the 10,000 guys who blew up their accounts and went back to driving Uber. This is survivorship bias. In WW, the military looked at the planes coming back from battle. They saw bullet holes in the wings and tail. They said, we must reinforce the wings and tail. A mathematician, Abraham Wald, stopped them. He said, no, you are looking at the planes that survived. The planes that got hit in the engine didn't come back. The bullet holes you don't see are the fatal ones. In finance, the dead planes are invisible. Dead funds are delisted. Dead traders delete their accounts. You are looking at a data set that only includes the lucky survivors. So you calculate the odds based on the survivors. Look, he did it. I can do it too. You are looking at the lottery winner and thinking buying tickets is a career. If you could see the graveyard of traders, the mountain of corpses who thought they could predict the market, you would never touch a buy button again. You would run to the safety of the index, but the graveyard is silent. The casino only plays loud music when someone wins. Here is the concept that separates the pros from the corpses: ergodicity. In a classroom probability, non-ergodic system, if 100 people toss a coin and 50 win and 50 lose, the average is 0. In real life, ergodic system, you are not 100 people. You are one person tossing the coin 100 times in a row. Sequence matters. If you lose 100% of your money on Toss Tara 3, you cannot play Toss Tara 4. You are dead. The average return of the market might be 10%, but if you use leverage and blow up, your return is 100%. The illusion of control makes you ignore the risk of ruin. You think, I have a 90% chance of winning this trade, so you bet the house. But if you play that game long enough, the 10% will happen. And if the 10% kills you, your long-term expectancy is 0. The narcissist optimizes for the best case scenario. The primal investor optimizes for survival. Can I survive the worst case? If the answer is no, the trade is forbidden. It doesn't matter matter how high the upside is, 0 times anything is 0. You must stay in the game to win. Most traders are playing Russian roulette to pick up nickels. They win 5 times. Click, 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 click. They think they are geniuses. I'm up 5 nickels. Then, bang. The illusion of control makes you think you can dodge the bullet. Math says the bullet always finds you eventually. The most dangerous strategy ever invented is the martingale. You lose $100. You bet $200 to win it back. You lose $200. You bet $400. The logic, eventually I will win and I will cover all losses plus the $100 profit. This appeals to the ego. It guarantees, in theory, that you never walk away a loser, and it works. It works 99% of the time. You see a graph that goes up, up, up in small steps. It looks like free money. It looks like high Sharpe ratio, but the bet size grows exponentially. $100, $200, $400, $800, $1,600, $3,200. Eventually, you hit a losing streak that requires a bet larger than your bankroll or the table limit. Then you crash to zero instantly. The martingale turns a high probability of a small gain into a low probability of total annihilation. Traders do this subconsciously, averaging down. I bought at 50, it's at 40. I'll buy double to lower my cost basis. It's at 30, I'll buy more. You are fighting the trend. You are fighting God. You are assuming the market must revert to your price because you need it to. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. The martingale is the strategy of the illusion of control. I will force the market to pay me. The market accepts your challenge and takes your house. Leverage, borrowed money, is not a tool for the amateur. It is a tool for the executioner. Leverage does not make you smarter. It just makes your mistakes happen faster. If you are a bad driver, driving a Ferrari at 200 mph doesn't make you a race car driver. It makes you a red stain on the wall. The illusion of control whispers, I'm sure about this trade. I should borrow 10x money to maximize the profit. Certainty. Leverage. Death. Why? Because leverage removes your time. If you buy a house with cash, the market can drop 50% and you can wait 10 years for it to recover. You have time. If you buy a house with 10x leverage and the market drops 10%, you get a margin call. The bank takes the asset. You are wiped out. You don't get to wait 10 years. You are dead today. Leverage turns temporary volatility into permanent loss. It creates path dependence. The primal investor hates leverage because he hates fragility. He wants to be unshakable. Leverage makes you fragile. It gives the market the power to liquidate you. Never give the enemy the kill switch to your life. Let's look at the data. We pay hedge fund managers 2% and 20% of profits to beat the market. Do they? Over a 15-year period, 90% of active fund managers fail to beat the S&P 500 index. Let that sink in. These are the smartest men in the room. Billions of dollars in tech, armies of PhDs, inside information, and they lose to a simple algorithm that just buys the 500 biggest companies and does nothing. Why? Because the market is efficiently chaos. Information travels at the speed of light. By the time you read the news, the price has already moved. You are competing against robots that trade in microseconds. You think you have an edge because you read a Reddit post? It's laughable. The illusion that you can pick stocks is the ultimate arrogance. You are playing tennis against Roger Federer, but you think you can win because you bought a new racket. The only winning move for the retail investor is not to play the alpha game. It is to play the beta game, capture the market return. Be the house, not the gambler. The index fund is the house. It owns everything. It always wins eventually. The stock picker is the gambler. He has a hot streak, then he dies. We live in the information age. We are drowning in data. The illusion of control tells you, more data, better decisions. If I have 4 monitors and a Bloomberg terminal and Twitter, I will win. False. More data, more noise. More data, analysis paralysis. More data, overfitting. You find patterns that are just coincidences. Did you know that the correlation between Nicolas Cage movies and people drowning in pools is 66%? If you feed that data into an AI, it will tell you to short pool stocks when a new Nick Cage movie comes out. This is spurious correlation. In finance, almost everything is spurious. Super Bowl indicator, hemline indicator, it's junk. The primal investor goes on a low information diet. He ignores the news. He ignores the minute-by-minute ticks. He focuses on the base rates. Is this company profitable? Do they have debt? Is the price historically low? 3 data points are better than 300. Simplicity beats complexity because complexity breaks. The more variables you have in your model, the more things can go wrong. The illusion of control loves complexity because it looks smart. Reality loves simplicity because it works. We think that if a market has been stable for 10 years, it is safe. Hyman Minsky, the economist, proved the opposite. Stability breeds instability. When the market is calm, people get confident. They take more risk. They use more leverage. It hasn't crashed in 10 years, so it won't crash. They build a tower of debt on the assumption of stability. This very act of leveraging up creates the instability. The system becomes rigid, fragile. A small breeze knocks it over. The illusion of control looks at the calm surface of the ocean and thinks, safe. The primal mind knows that underneath, the pressure is building. The longer the peace, the more violent the war. The longer the bull market, the more devastating the crash. You cannot predict when, timing, but you can predict that, structure. You know the dam will break. The illusionist builds a house under the dam. The realist builds a boat. The first step to true power is surrender. You must surrender the idea that you can command the ocean. The market is the ocean. The trader is the surfer. Does the surfer scream at the wave? Does he try to predict the exact molecule of water? No. He waits, he observes. When the wave comes, he does not control it, he rides it. He aligns his energy with the energy of the chaos. If the wave crashes, he dives under. He doesn't argue with the water. This is the Tao of finance. Wu Wei, effortless action. The illusion of control makes you paddle against the current. You get tired, you drown. The primal investor flows with the current. The market is going up, I am long. The market is going down, I am in cash. The market is sideways, I do nothing. He has no opinion. He has no ego. He has only response. He trades what he sees, not what he thinks. The chart is the territory. Your opinion is a bad map drawn by a drunk child. Burn the map. Look at the territory. Nassim Taleb gave us the blueprint. Most people invest in the middle. They put 100% of their money in medium risk assets, corporate bonds, blue chip stocks with leverage. They think this is balanced. It is not. It is a trap. The middle is where the black swan kills you. The middle has limited upside and infinite downside if the system breaks. The primal code uses the barbell strategy. Imagine a barbell. Weights on two ends, nothing in the middle. End 1, extreme safety, 90%. Cash, gold, short-term treasuries, land, assets that cannot go to zero, assets that survive the apocalypse. You sleep well, you are unkillable. End 2, extreme risk, 10%. Crypto, options, angel investing, distressed assets, assets that can go to zero but can also go to 100x. There is no middle. Here is the math. If the 10% goes to zero, you lose 10%. You are still alive. You have 90%. If the 10% goes 10x, which happens in chaos, your total portfolio doubles. You have capped downside and uncapped upside. You are anti-fragile. Chaos benefits you. If the market crashes, you have cash, end 1, to buy the blood. If the market moons, you have exposure, end 2. You do not need to predict the future. You are positioned to win in any future. The balanced investor dies in the crash and misses the moon. Be the barbell. Jesse Livermore, the greatest trader who ever lived, said, "It was never my thinking that made the big money for me. It was always my sitting. Sitting is a skill. In a world of dopamine addiction, doing nothing is a superpower. The illusion of control tells you, don't just sit there, do something. The primal mind says, don't just do something, sit there. Why? Because activity kills returns. Friction costs, fees, slippage, taxes, mistakes. Every time you touch the portfolio, you introduce human error. There was a study, often cited as the Fidelity Dead Account Study. They looked at which accounts had the best performance. The answer? People who forgot they had an account. People who were dead. Dead people are the best investors. Why? Because they don't sell in a panic. They don't buy the top. They don't read the news. They let the compound interest work. The primal protocol is to simulate being dead. Set it up, automate it, and then die to the market. Go live your real life. Let the machine harvest the wealth while you hunt in the real world. If you are checking your phone 50 times a day, you are not an investor. You are a neurotic security guard watching an empty warehouse. You buy $500 every Monday. Price is high, you buy. Price is low, you buy. World War III, you buy. Aliens land, you buy. Why is this superior to your brain? Because it removes regret. If the market crashes, the DCA investor is happy. Great, my $500 buys more shares today. I'm getting a discount. If the market rallies, the DCA investor is happy. Great, my portfolio value is up. He wins in both directions. He has hacked his psychology. The timer is miserable. If market crashes, I should have sold. If market rallies, I should have bought more. He loses in both directions. DCA is the algorithm of God. It mathematically guarantees you buy the average price. And since the market drifts up over time due to inflation and productivity, the average price makes you rich. It is boring. It is unsexy. It is guaranteed. The illusionist wants excitement. The realist wants results. We think we solve problems by adding things. I need a new indicator. I need a new news subscription. No, in complex systems, you improve survival by removing things. This is via negativa. Remove leverage. You can't blow up. Remove shorting. You have capped risk. Remove the news. You have clarity. Remove the guru. You save save fees, remove the daily check, you save sanity. What you don't do is more important than what you do. I don't invest in things I don't understand. I don't catch falling knives. I don't trust CEOs. Build a list of never do. Stupid people try to be smart. Smart people try not to be stupid. It is easier to avoid stupidity than to achieve brilliance. If you simply avoid the 5 things that kill investors, leverage, FOMO, panic selling, scams, greed, you will be in the top 1% by default. Survival is the ultimate alpha. The market will crash. This is not a prediction. It is a promise. It will happen. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe in 5 years. You will lose 50% of your net worth on paper. How will you react? The illusionist panics. My money is gone. The primal mind practices amor fati, love of fate. The crash is here. Good. This clears out the weak hands. This allows me to buy cheap. This tests my resolve. You must frame the crash not as a tragedy, but as winter. Winter kills the parasites. Winter strengthens the roots. If you are prepared, barbell strategy, you welcome winter. You are the wolf in the snow. You have your coat. You have your fat reserves. The sheep freeze. You hunt. Psychological preparation is more important than financial preparation. If you have the perfect portfolio but a weak mind, you will sell at the bottom. You will press the button to stop the pain. You must train yourself to feel pain and not press the button. Pain is information. It is not a command. Finally, ask yourself, why are you playing? Are you playing to get a high score? Or are you playing to be free? The illusion of control traps you in the game forever. I need to hit $10 million. I need to beat the index. You are a slave to the scoreboard. The primal code plays the infinite game. The goal is not to win the market. The goal is to keep playing. The goal is autonomy. If you have enough money to say no to a boss, no to a client, no to a schedule, you have won. It doesn't matter if you beat the S&P 500. It matters if you own your 24 hours. Time is the only asset. Money is just a tool to store time. Don't trade your actual time, watching charts, stressing, reading news, to get more money tokens. That is a bad trade. Set the trap, the portfolio. Leave the trap, go live. When you come back, there will be food. If you stare at the trap, the animal never comes. So here we are. You are in the back seat of the car. The car is speeding down a dark road. You cannot grab the wheel. You cannot predict the curve. What do? You buckle your seatbelt. Risk management. You check the airbag. Cash reserves. You make sure the driver isn't drunk. Avoid scams. And then, you look out the window and enjoy the ride. The chaos is beautiful if you are safe. The storm is majestic if you are inside the fortress. Stop trying to be God. Be a man. A man prepares. A man adapts. A man survives. Let the market do what it wants. You do what you must. The illusion is over. The reality begins. See you on the other side. End of transmission.